Hi, I'm Jordan Belisai, and I've been LARPing at Kingdoms of Novitas since 2005, so that's 19 years now.
James Vertucci. I've been at Novitas since 2006, so 18 years. Yeah.
And I'm Richard Baldwin. Been LARPing since 2008.
Next month. Yeah, May. No, so
Or is it
May-
always the next month?
it's always the next month. Actually, great answer.
Yeah.
No, it's usually like May and then November. So like May, beginning the bookends kind of months. I love every game. I'm just gonna say that now. But like the fall and the spring, where the bugs aren't carrying you away, and don't get it wrong. Actually, we have Kingsley is pretty great on bugs. We don't have a terrible issue. But like I think those like bookend months, that like cooler weather, so you can wear your thin clothes or your thick clothes. You can kind of like run around. You can be outside for hours and not overheat or not be too cold. You know, just
You
those
can wear
perfect
pants
weather
or not
months.
wear pants.
Yeah, don't wear pants. Confuse so many people who don't know what my character looks like.
No pants party.
But yeah, that's my favorite, I would say.
I think my favorite month is December.
Really?
Only because we fought for so long to get a December event.
You're right, yeah.
And like, because half the time December would be warmer than November for some reason. And so we're like, we gotta do more. We gotta have more games, because that break between November and then not until April it was.
Yep.
And we had like one in February, but it was such a long break. I'm like, we can get one more in there. And so I think that's my favorite.
Yeah.
And you get to see, sometimes you get to see like the Yetis or the other snow creatures, and
Yep.
then you just see all the snow. If it snows, you see it on the tree and the crystals and the paths and
It
the
is
silence.
quite beautiful. Yeah.
It's beautiful, breathtaking. Yeah. I think May is rather good. Like I love like stealthing through the woods, and if it rains the night before,
Oh,
it's perfect, because like all the sharp twigs are like, they bend, and you can just kind of like walk and or if it like rained very, very lightly. Oh, hello. If it rained very, very lightly, then as it like trickles down from the trees, it just covers the sound of your footsteps. I think anywhere where you can wear like wool, like
Yes.
either end, is like great. It's, you can always kind of throw another layer on and have a good time.
wool is magical.
It is. Cheat codes.
Mhm.
Cheat codes for LARP. Yep.
What's one I can like really remember?
Oh, that's simple. I've just never broken character.
I believe that. I really believe that.
Yeah.
Well, just say it. Just say it behind the camera person.
When Zenith and Arbor maybe stole some stuff off of Janos.
I didn't break character.
You did after.
Oh yeah, I laughed a lot.
It's always laughing. It's not
Yeah.
getting angry
It's
or
never
something.
getting angry.
Yeah.
No, it's always
Yeah.
just making me laugh, pushing me to the
Yeah.
point. I know I've my other behind the camera person, have him break character a couple times by being absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. Lots of things. I try not to break character with all my heart, but like,
Yep.
if you do something funny, sometimes I just gotta laugh like Jimmy laughs, alright? It's hard to keep it in. I don't have a specific moment, because that's been,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
more than one for me.
I-
You're
So
tough,
I
you're a
think-
tough cookie.
I think as a PC, the only time I've actually broken character is when I've showed my like secret side of my character, and I go too far, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that in public. But I think the only time I really break character is is when I NPC, and I'm doing it, I'm serious, I'm in it, but I'm not as method into that character because I've only had so much time to prep.
Yeah.
I only have so much history and background knowledge about that character, and then the PCs do something that just catches you completely off guard.
Yeah,
and
wonky stuff.
They're trying to do. I swear they're trying to get you to break character or something, and so that's when I do it. Is when I don't have enough time to
You mean when those other NPCs are from the Brook and they talk with an accent?
Yeah. And you're like, come on,
what are you doing?
I'm so into this. They spent an hour putting me in makeup.
Here I am. Or you do the hour of makeup, you get the stats for the thing that you are, you're putting all this stuff on, you get all the download from the game master, all these things gotta happen, and then you step outside and you say, what was my name? I guess I'm Boblin, and or you step outside and you're just thinking about all that stuff. You just didn't have a name, and then you come up with Boblin right next to the player, and then they say Boblin, you gotta double down.
Yes, you're Boblin.
Boblin.
It's a family name.
I'm from Boblin Lane. We're just bobbling along, You dig in, so I try not to break, or there's tons of things with because when someone else just says something broadly that's out of character, no one likes a jerk, you don't finger point, you just say tell me, what is this game that you speak of called World of Warcraft?
Oh, sorry, it's these little pieces chess.
Yeah. And you just take it as in character as you can, and it is campy, but then it brings it just brings it into the stream, and
I will say one way I break character that it's a little more not on the fun side, but I think it should be addressed. Is a lot of the times people will come up to me as my PC and say, "Hey Jimmy," and ask me a question about game, which I don't want to get this wrong. Ask questions, it's great. Please try to do it to people who aren't in PC stuff. It's not happened to me this year at all because we kind of talked about this at FF Feast. We did a whole thing, and It is the one thing I don't love because it rips me right out. When somebody walks up to me and says, "Hey Jimmy," and I'm like, it just took me 2 hours to get in, to get into my mindset, and you just called me my real person name, my government name, and now here I am. Okay, what do you need? And it's okay if it's an emergency, but a lot of times it's not. A lot of times it's how does Sanctuary work? And it's that's what you pulled me out of this for?
They could have been Janos. How does Sanctuary?
They could have exactly. They can do it in an in-game fashion and make it happen. And that's getting better. But I think it's an important thing that needs to be said. That's all.
There's tons of ways to crack this nut. It's especially as you get on there. And I'm not a game master anymore, and I'm very, very grateful to our game masters that do this. And I, was, a game master for many years, but now I'm just happy being a skeleton. But we did a plot where we had 2 groups of NPCs. Think of each one like a squad. It was nighttime and the moon was out, and the design was the groups were along a path where there's basically only one way to get through. And as the players came in, they would bump into an ambush, the first ambush, and the first group would attack, and they would, kill everybody, right? And then they would, as they died, just exit out, and they would go past the second group. The second group would also be an ambush, and we that second group got a really good ambush where we could set people up in different points, in the dark, and then so then the second group kind of had to go past us to a last point. So they would bump into that second ambush, And then when we died, we went to the end, and it was finale. Okay, so then they have the finale. They kill the big bad evil guy, like you gotta. And then if everyone, you gotta check in with your NPCs. Say, okay, do you have gas in the tank? Are we tired? Is one of you okay? And then as they're leaving, you just slowly have like one or two like come at the back, and now it's a different story. The story isn't we fought our way in. Now the story is we fought our way out. Because we have to survive. Kind of thing. So, and it's a really efficient use of a lot of like you don't need a ton of NPCs, which with each of those phrases, but fill in all the details of like who, what, when, what monsters, what loot, and all that stuff. But that basic design, I think, is helpful.
Yeah.
I think my favorite plots are where the GMs engage multiple groups to work on their own siloed piece of the plot. We saw this with Joy crashing the wedding. We saw different people working with different things. And like my group accidentally killed some bad guys, and we're able to like pretend to be the hired guards, and we got into the secret bubble, and we're there, and then we see all like these big evil people. We're like, me and Christine are like, how did we get in here? What do we do? Let's just like breathe. And we're like, holy cow.
That's really cool.
It was the funniest thing. And then with other ones, so I spent like 2 years having this person come to power and did all these things, and it was like this big epic thing and whatever. And at the same time, there's this other group that was like working to kill this person. And then it was ironic because it was my wife that killed this person. And so it was like, and I laughed. And that's the thing. It's like, this isn't real world. This is one of many things. Yeah. But there's so many different things going on that people don't know. And I kind of like the siloedness of it. And we all can be part of that. The GMs care about the different groups. And you can still feel satisfied that you did something, you completed something, even if the whole thing doesn't go your way. And so I love those plots where there's lots of moving parts.
Yeah.
Or like with the.
I thought the El Carn.
Oh, the El Carn. Yeah.
Because it was many different groups were like pitched the thing, right? Because everybody has to be involved. For those of you who don't know, it was like a very long,
so like 3 years?
Overarching plot. Yeah, it was like 3 years, something like that. Like big baddie lich. But at the end, like, every shift got its piece of the pie. But it wasn't just like, go kill this thing. It was like you had to figure out different ways to destroy pieces of phylactery. Not everybody did it the same. And then at the end you had to, like, there's puzzles involved. That was like something that makes you think a little more. Like, you're not just... Our game is very big on combat, which is a huge part of what I love. But I also love when it's not. I also love when it's like, solve this problem, but you can't use your muscles. And it's a really cool... I like when plots mix that in. It's hard for me to think of something specific right now, only because last year for me is still in my mind so hard, and it was a lot of just like the same, which isn't a bad thing. It was like a capstone for me, but like, so a lot of that was just, it took me away from the rest of the game. I'm very excited this year to kind of get back into the flow of plots and seeing what things are. So. Oh yeah, I have physically real person cried over the death of a friend at LARP. My character has lost a friend and I have physically been like, oh, I'm sad. Like, I am sad. And it's real. Like, you get attached to people and characters, and it's... Yeah. I mean, Oddfellows have some of the best stories about that, so...
Yeah, we lost a lot, and, like, the body kind of keeps the score. Like, you know, on one level, we know that, you know, this is a game, and we're having, you know, like, fun. This is, you know, like, part of it. But, the subconscious can't tell the difference between like you with a foam sword like defending, you know, little shots from someone else, they can't tell the difference between that and someone trying to kill you, you know.
Yeah.
And so, like, there is some processing that needs to go on, you know, like through the week and stuff. Like I remember shopping at a mall, you know, with those circle racks, you know, and on a Monday after game, and like unexpectedly, I heard like some rustling in like the t-shirt rack or whatever, and so I like spin and pull to like go pull like a sword that's not on my hip, you know. I have no sword, and it's this little 80-year-old lady, like, you know, kind of shopping, but it was just like I didn't, you know, see her because she was like this tall, yeah, right. But and then you catch yourself, you're like, what, you know. So it takes a little bit to like, you know, get out of, you know, let game get out of you, you know. And,
Yeah.
like talking about it like on that Sunday, you know, is a great way to like kind of process some of those things and emotions, you know, there's you know, this word that gets said a lot. It's, you know, called character bleed, you know, where you're either you're having a tough time and it comes into your character, or your character's having a tough time and it comes to us. You know, really watch out for that. You know that.
Oh yeah.
You know, at different times during Novitas, you know, we have been like, you know, evil, like enemies, like straight enemies, you know. They've like, you know, killed party members of mine and stuff, and I had, you know, been a part of killing some of theirs and stuff, and you know, there's been like many sleepless nights that I've had, like just thinking about it and trying, you know, those kind of thoughts where you try to get to sleep and you can't, you know, because you're thinking about how to survive, you know, being attacked. But that's also the best part of game. You know, that's also the most powerful part of game, is that, you know, you can't do this, hopefully, normally, you know, you're not thinking about, you know, people trying to hunt you in some fashion.
I guess sometimes I get into character more when I think about something that happened in real life, and I'm like, how would I be in this moment? Like a long time ago, I was actually like in the presence of a god, and I'm like, if I was in the presence of who I call God, how would I feel? How would I react? How would I be in that moment? And so that's one thing.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with one of our gods recently, who took over a long-time friend's body, Atticus's, and it was like a very like trying and like heart-wrenching moment, because there's so many like, how would you act talking to God?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
It would not be peaceful, you know, like
And then also, I think when the whole team pulls together and they accomplish something, I think like with the orc battle, I think everybody who's playing currently can really feel that. Everyone pulled together, they did their part, and we succeeded. And it was like this joy and this relief.
Everyone loved everybody for a while. Yep.
And I love it. It was great.
Yeah, that it really was.
Yeah, I would say a lot of my characters actually shaped from loss, because we went through the Alcarn stuff. And you make friends with NPCs that reoccur, and next thing they're just dead forever. And I think that has shaped it a lot. So, yeah.
But thank you for asking those questions.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you all.